What is considered socially unacceptable for no reason? Not getting someone a gift when they say that they don't want anything. I hate that. I legitimately don't want anything. Don't get me a gift. If you feel bad, get me a card. I save all my cards. My in-laws do this every Christmas. I legitimately don't want anything, so I get weird things instead. Running everywhere instead of walking. When I see someone running that looks like they shouldn't be, not wearing running gear, I admittedly do assume suspicion. College campus is the one place this doesn't look out of place. My dad gets super offended when I put my elbows on the table. I still don't know why. It comes from partial education and lack of nuance. It's generally accepted by etiquette experts that resting your forearms or elbows on the edge of the table between bites is fine. What the original rule was trying to prevent was putting your elbows on the table so you could hunker down for a good food shoveling like a goddamn barbarian. Source: my grandmother was an etiquette expert. She got a degree and everything. She even taught classes. I have read Emily Post's books. I forget which one, but on the first page it says the most tactless thing one can do is point out the lack of etiquette of someone else. I've always thought that was nice. In some places, calling in sick because it's letting down the team or whatever, frick off. I'm sick as a dog. There's little I will accomplish other than feeling like death warmed up, so you aren't missing out on much. Plus I could spread whatever I've got to coworkers, then we're all sick. If I'm sick, you shouldn't want me at work, because then everyone else will get freaking sick and it ruins productivity in the office. The only possible reason for demanding a doctor's note is if you think for some reason I'm lying about being sick. And considering I'm sick, I'm not going to get one. Because frick you, I'm sick. So what makes you think I'm leaving the house for a stupid bit of paper? And to be clear, I'm not talking about you the commenter. I'm talking about bosses etc at work locations. The doctor's note thing is such crap. You can be sick and not need to go to the doctor. Why would you spend the money to go to the doctor for them to tell you to go buy some Mucinex and rest? I was once shamed for missing work for having a miscarriage. Worst job I've ever had. Glad to be out of there. Standing on a roof. Sometimes why can't I stand on my dang roof? It's my business if I break my legs. What's going on here? I feel like there's some deep-rooted tension between you and someone who won't let you stand on your roof. Like, do your neighbors not like it when you stand on your roof? No, they do not. Got the cops called on me, even though that makes no sense. Leaving without giving an acceptable song and dance about why you are leaving. With leaving because you have basically reached your limit with socializing being not a good enough reason. People who can stand to be around other people for huge amounts of time, more power to you. But me? I can't do that, and I don't want to have to make up an excuse to do so. The Irish exit exists for a reason, my dude. The Irish exit is bizarre to me as an Irish person, because here in Ireland you say goodbye to everyone twice, are still there an hour later, and even the goldfish is saying I thought you were leaving. Being the first person to get up from your chair when snacks are brought into a meeting room. There's always that one hero that does it though so others can get in line. Because I'm scared of looking like I'm starving or like I'm fat. People can see that I'm fat whether I stand up first or not. Waking up at 11 AM or later. I'm not lazy, my responsibilities are taken care of. I stay up late and value my sleep hours. I stay up until 6 AM and wake up at 2. I'm a self-employed artist and I'm most productive at night. Even as a kid I always stayed up / slept in. People assume I'm lazy, but I'm not productive at all in the morning. So frick that noise. Night owls rule. Hey, me too. I never have felt so validated about my fricked up schedule. Everything I make in the morning is garbage and ends up be redone when I have my head on straight in the evening. Not answering your own door. When there's like a salesman at someone's door, they won't want to answer, but they will act like no one is home and be really quiet so the person outside the door doesn't hear them. But it's your house. I could just stare at a salesman out the window as he rings my bell. Who cares? It's my house. I don't have to answer my own door for whatever reason I deem acceptable. You came to my house, not the other way around. My neighbor also came to my house the other day, rang my doorbell, and I was trying to put my son down for a nap, so I didn't go down. But then she messaged my wife and was like, "Hey, your garage is open. I can see someone is home. Why didn't you answer?" So then my wife messages me asking why I didn't answer. What the hell? For whatever reason I choose. I had a good one this time, but maybe I'm asleep. Maybe I'm taking a shower. Or a crap. Or in the backyard. Or maybe I'm scratching my nuts on the couch. Maybe frick yourself. It's my house. You took your shot to see if I'd answer and I didn't. Move on. I couldn't agree with any post more than this. I loathe when people come to my door. If you don't have my number, there's nothing I need from you. No soliciting, no dropping by. I want to be in my own home in peace, and if I wanted someone else here, they'd be invited. Maybe frick yourself, indeed. It's not their goddamn business why you didn't open the door to your home. That crap annoys me. Agree fully. I never open my door for anyone I'm not expecting. Ever. My daughters even think this is rude of me. My husband can't help himself, he opens the door for everyone then has to stand there trying to politely get them to leave. Using swing/playground equipment as an adult. I friggin' love going on the swings. I'm 30 and it still fascinates me that I can quickly and easily get 10, 15 feet or higher in the air with some simple leg movement. One day I was at a fairly deserted local park on the swings, having the time of my life. Suddenly Karen shows up with her 2 ankle biters, hands on her hips and yells at me, "What are you doing on there? The swings are for the kids, not adults. My tax dollars paid for these swings, and there's no sign saying that I can't, so I'll use them as much as I damn well please whenever I want." How much tax did little Johanathan and little Kimberley pay last year? None. Guess they can't use the swings either. The Kimberley killed me. Apparently soft F's isn't allowed in schools. I guess I just have to accept the beating. Hell, you'll get suspended for getting the crap kicked out of you, because schools have a zero tolerance policy. Tip for passive high schoolers: if someone wants to fight, and they hit you, it's already done, and you're gonna get punished too, so you might as well kick their ass, since there's no going back. I feel like that's something the Supreme Court needs to address at some point. At least in Canada the Charter protects Canadians' right to peace and security and doesn't specify an age limit. There must be something in the US Bill of Rights/Constitution. Talking about the money you make / your salary. I've talked about salary with coworkers a few times in my career. A couple times I found out I was underpaid. I asked for more money on my next review and was given what I asked. Sometimes companies overpay new hires when they are desperate for somebody good. The worst thing that can happen is their best, most experienced employees find out about it. Salary secrecy is always beneficial to the company, never to the employee. So true. Someone told me at my old company, giant food multinational, that they were told by ours that they could be terminated or written up for discussing salary. I was livid when I heard that. Walking your cat reminds me when some old man yelled at me and wanted to call the cops because cats aren't dogs and you can't walk them. Get a goldfish, put it in a fish bowl, put the fish bowl in a wagon, walk the fish. Stare old man in the eyes as you do so. Going to the movies alone. When I was abroad for a year I went to the cinema by myself all the time. You choose the movie and the time, no compromises. You don't talk during the film anyway, so there really is no need to drag someone along. Do it, it's great. Exactly this. I go to lunch alone at work and people usually ask me, "Why don't you go with other people?" I usually just shrug and just say it's easier. It really is easier, since I don't have to waste my precious lunch hour waiting for others to get ready when in reality, you should be ready to sprint out the office for lunch 5 minutes before lunch hour starts. I also don't have to argue/discuss with others on what to eat that day. If I want to eat McDonald's, but halfway through my journey there, and I spot a KFC and suddenly get a craving for KFC, I can just instantly change my mind and go for KFC instead. That way, I don't need to spend the whole day regretting my choice for MCD and not KFC. This works for movies too. Like, if my original plan was to watch Frozen 2, but then I see that Knives Out is also showing at the same time, I can just instantly change my mind and watch Knives Out without debating with others. Seriously, doing an activity by yourself is incredibly freeing and less stressful. Napping at work during my lunch break. I don't really need food in the afternoon, what I really need is a nap. Funny part is that I need the nap because of the lunch. There are a ton of rules around clothing that are completely arbitrary nonsense. And I don't even just mean workplace dress codes and gendered clothing that are obvious bullcrap. Even in casual situations, jeans and a flannel shirt are normal, but if you wore plaid flannel pajama pants and a denim shirt, you would look psychotic. That's just an excuse for you to go out to buy groceries in your pajamas, and I respect it. I work in supermarkets, and when I see people in pajamas shopping I get jealous. I'm in my uncomfortable uniform, man. You're in soft fluffy pants and sliders. Not drinking alcohol around others who are drinking. People don't like it. TBH, if I'm drinking with budders I appreciate it if one of them decides not to drink. That way if we somehow end up in a sketchy situation, or if I need help getting home, or with anything in general, then there is a sober-minded person that I trust there to help me. As long as you don't treat those sober people like they are your babysitter/ride home without getting the okay from them first. I sometimes hated being the sober person because people who got wasted expected me to look after them, and crap, I don't want them to get into trouble, but I also don't like looking after adult friends like they're a toddler. You're an adult too. Don't drink enough to put yourself in that situation. Don't just assume the sober person is there to bail you out. Wearing the same clothes 2 days in a row. I'm from the States and I visited Italy when I was a teenager. It was so weird to me at the time that people there wore the same clothes a few days in a row. But now I think, why not? If the clothes aren't dirty or smelly, they're still good to wear. Wait, that's a thing. I wear my clothes 2-3 days in a row. But then again, I live in Europe where it's cold, and I almost don't sweat. Didn't know that was a thing. Pooping in a public bathroom. It's not necessarily unacceptable, but it's something that always elicits a reaction of discomfort and often disapproval. I've definitely heard people loudly exclaim that they could tell someone just took a crap in the bathroom acting all disgusted. I mean, they didn't crap on the floor. They went to the proper pooping receptacle. It just shouldn't mean anything and shouldn't be worth commenting on. People poop in bathrooms. If you're in a public bathroom and you didn't know it, that's where people poop. Stop acting surprised when a bathroom smells like people did what people do in bathrooms. For a long time I had poop anxiety over this. Now I'll let my bowels rip so the whole shopping mall feels my mighty rumble. Sometimes I need to adjust my peen. It's unacceptable depending on the location and what you're wearing. It's easier to change the position of your peen when wearing a hoodie, especially if you're wearing just a hoodie. For men to carry purses. Lots of men carry a messenger bag or backpack and nobody cares. If you want a bag, get one. Let those dummies carry their stuff in their arms while you stroll along in comfort. I've carried a messenger bag for a while and have taken to calling it my purse as a preemptive countermeasure to anyone who thinks they might be hilarious and original. Spaghetti straps not being allowed in schools. IDK about other dudes, but shoulders have never turned me on. Well, according to sex ed in America, that's where the clitoris is located at. American student can confirm. Being open/honest about not having kids. In my personal life I have gotten more ridicule and very pointed questions bordering on disrespectful over being child-free than about any of my other opinions. Once I said I wasn't having kids, my family became obsessed with whether or not I was dating, and oh, what if he wants kids? What if I meet the perfect guy, but he wants kids? Well, then I guess he's not the perfect guy for me. Simple as that. I don't want kids, and no, I don't have to give you a detailed bullet list about why I'm not having kids, because what I decide to do with my uterus is none of your freaking business, idiot. If you say you want kids though, but right now you have your time to yourself, like they are thirsting for their single free days, downplaying how great it is to have kids. If you have a miscarriage you can try again. At least you can get pregnant, WTF. Once you have a kid, you're naming it what? How are we supposed to remember that when? Are you having another? You don't want X to be an only child you can't win. No one escapes scrutiny from these pushy aunties, grandmas and complete strangers. Your best bet is to give them no information. 100% this. I've learned who in my family gets a strict information diet. I just don't give a frick what they think. Not wearing a bra, frick bras. There, I said it. Haven't worn a bra in 2 years. Never felt better. Ugh, jealous. I'm breastfeeding a newborn and have to wear a bra 24/7 to hold the little pad things that catch all the milk that constantly drips out. I might have to just lay out a towel or two on the bed tonight and live my life. Accepting something that someone offered you. This is mostly in the Middle East, I think. But it's really frustrating for foreigners because a foreigner will never know the correct time to accept an offer. If someone offers to buy you dinner, there is a very delicate balance of refusing and accepting. You have to refuse like 4-5 times. But if you refuse more than that, you'll also offend the other person. But if you don't refuse it several times adamantly, then you'll look greedy and selfish. If they fail to offer it insistently for like 4-5 times, they'll look like they didn't mean the offer and they aren't generous. A lot of Middle Easterners are shocked when they come to a Western country and they say something like, hey, let me pay for this, and the other person says, oh okay thanks. Shocked Pikachu face. It takes a while to get used to the fact that Westerners will just take you up on the offer. At first it feels like Westerners are greedy and they want to take advantage of your generosity, but that's not the case. It's just a different culture, and it makes more sense to accept an offer straight up instead of a whole theater production first. But Middle Eastern people need that theater production to feel everyone's been proper and polite. One time a group of us were in a Middle Eastern country, and in a way, to celebrate our friendship they wanted to put on a show for us. This is when I learned a major difference between Western culture and Arab culture. See, Arabs will keep a show going until their guests leave, and Westerners will stay until the end of the show. So we had two groups of people becoming increasingly frustrated with each other because the Americans won't leave and let us stop performing was clashing with OMG, can they just end the show already? Prostitution. I never understood why it was illegal. If people want to have sex for money, by all means it's their body and right to do so. They should just have to apply for a license and treat it like a self-employed status on tax returns. It's not illegal if you film it. You're not a prostitute if you're an actor.